All right, that's good. And that's good. All right, live on all those parts. Now we just wait to see if people come in. Oop. Get my chat up. What's up, Jacob? How's it going? What's up, Ape? What's up, Logan? Texans upset the Browns. That'd be pretty funny. Feels a little unlikely, though. What's up, Nathan? How's it going? All right. Pop that open. Yeah, Browns will probably win. Well, we got some games to go over here in like I don't know. We'll give it like 5-10 minutes and then we'll get started. Like usual. Just catching back up on schoolwork while I'm watching you previewing the games. Hell yeah, that sounds like a good time. Good way to spend your Saturday evening, anyway. Lognus has the Eagles. Could happen. It's a tough game. There's a lot of really good games this weekend. A lot of hard to figure matches, like Atlanta and Pittsburgh. Like it may not be like the best games, but they're all good matchups. Steelers, Falcons, Jaguars, Lions, Jets, Vikings, Commanders, Giants, Titans, Eagles, Dolphins, 49ers, Chiefs, Bengals, Chargers, Raiders. And then games that have like a lot on the line that don't seem that exciting, but there's like good storyline behind it. It's like the Broncos and Ravens. Can the Ravens stop blowing games late? Can the Broncos get anything going on their offense? What's up, Daniel? How's it going? You feel better? Well, that's good. Yep, Washington Giants tomorrow. Yeah, there's a lot of really good games tomorrow. With the Packers and the Bears, it may not be the best matchup, but it's like, well, that's always an exciting game, right? Aaron Rodgers versus Justin Fields. Can the Bears finally pull it off? Yeah, it should be an easy W. Steelers Falcons will be another sneaky good banger. Oh, yeah, that's why I put them on my list of good games tomorrow. Bro, Eagles can give up 33 points, but we can score 40. That's the thing. It does not matter how much points we give up. Yeah, that's true. I agree with that. You guys can score a lot. Really good. You're living in peace. That's good to hear, Daniel. That's good to hear. I need Watson to not go off tomorrow because my grandpa has him for there you go. But yeah, like in the Browns and Texans, maybe a shit matchup, but like we get the return of Deshaun Watson after a year plus. Seahawks and Rams kind of sucks. There's nothing really you can pull out of this game. This is the worst. This is the stinker of the week. This game. Charger or Colts. This one's pretty bad too. Colts and Cowboys. I'll say Steelers 26-24. Both offenses can spark. Yeah, I'll have my full breakdown. Yeah, I tend to agree with the Steelers winning though. And Saints and Bucks is always exciting because the Bucks will be battling it out for first place. And that also puts extra pressure on the Falcons because they're in technically a division race. We also, before we get going on all the picks and everything, we have, if you haven't seen the newest upload I had today, we have the playoff clinching scenarios for this week that we can talk about. Bears season's over? Yeah, probably. Crazy how Falcons versus Steelers has playoff implications. Yeah, 100%. Chiefs, Bengals. Yep. But this week, if the Eagles are to win and if the Washington loses, it's a long list of things that have to happen for the Eagles to clinch their playoff spot. Not the division yet, but a playoff spot nonetheless. They would have to win. Washington would have to lose. San Francisco and Seattle have to lose or tie, but they both can't tie. And I think I'm missing a third thing that has to happen. But I'm pretty sure it's just like a San Francisco-Seattle situation. And then with Minnesota, they can clinch the division outright if they win, tie, and Detroit loses or ties. If Detroit beats the Jaguars, that they can't clinch the division. But Minnesota is the first team that can clinch it out. Yeah, Ohio State might be in the college football playoffs. That's true. Vikings can clinch in week 14. I mean, they might clinch it a week early. Yeah, Logness, you guys have a long, like, you guys could make the division or like win your playoff spot this week, but it's like, oof, you need a lot to happen. You're an Ohio State fan? No, that makes sense. You live in Ohio. So, well, a couple things could happen. I think the most likely thing to happen could be the Vikings clinching, but I don't know if the Jaguars will beat the Lions. We'll find that out. Because for the Lions, when we get down to that, we'll find out Jamison Williams been activated, which will be... If you're the Jaguars who already have kind of like a weak secondary and the Lions are like, oh, by the way, I know it's kind of last minute. I know it's Saturday and we're about to play tomorrow, but we're going to activate a guy who can run a 4.340. Good luck. We're doing the Lions and Jaguars because I want to watch Jamison Williams debut. Hopefully he actually gets to play. Ohio State's the little brother. Oh, shit. We will get the division, but the way our division is playing is frustrating. We can never have just one NFC East team go to the playoffs. Well, for a while, it was just one NFC East team when you guys were putting out like sub 500 teams winning your division almost. Let's not pretend the NFC East wasn't a dog shit division for a really long time. Jameson, yeah, I wouldn't pick him up for fantasy yet. I doubt he's got like any serious addition in the offense. Yeah, so I don't know why you would say it would just be one NFC East team in the playoffs. I think that's all they've been sending for like years now. Maybe another wild card like last year. But there were some real bad ones. What's up, Shlomo? Yeah, that's old news. Not bad. That's a pretty good stash. If you haven't left a like, consider doing so, by the way. It'll get a few more people in here. Hasn't gone up in any likes, and it's a whole bunch of new people, so I would assume most of you haven't. Well, that sucks for Gaylord Perry. All right, let's get started on the games. People are kind of dipping out pretty quick, and I'm not interested in talking about baseball or college basketball or any of that shit. None of what you guys are talking about is interesting, except for what Chase talked about. Just so you're aware, I genuinely don't give a fuck. Damn, that sounds pretty windy. I'm loving this Giants collapse. Maybe. Giants got a tough road ahead of them. All right, you guys ready to get started? It's about 9 minutes, so who cares? Who cares? I don't know, Logness. I'm not in charge of them, so I don't know. People have these things called lives. What's up, Daniel? Detroit was the down. Yeah, you said that. I read that. Didn't it start the week before Detroit, though? Didn't they lose? Or were they still winning games prior to Detroit? All right. Either way, Steelers-Falcons coming up for the first game this week. You have the 4-7 Steelers versus the 5-7 Falcons. The only reason this game has any kind of like outside intrigue is because the like Falcons are still in play for their division at 5-7 because the NFC South looks like one of them historically awful divisions where a sub 500 team's going to win it. Let's look at the lines. Steelers are favored by 1 with an over-under of 42.5, so it looks like a pretty bad game. And the experts are at 51% Falcons and 49% Steelers. So really, the way this one breaks down is, I don't know, however you're feeling it. Kind of a pick 'em 50-50 game. Does Atlanta have a shot? Oh, yeah, they could win this game. I don't think it's a dead game for either team. The way I look at this game is the way the Steelers have to win this game is they're going to have to completely shut down the Falcons running game, because if they can do that and take out the Falcons run, which I think with Watt back and Minkah Fitzpatrick playing well, they're probably going to be able to at least eliminate the run from the Falcons. And then it's just like they're going to dare them to beat them with the pass. You know, a lot of single coverage on the receivers, not really paying much mind or respect to those guys. Basically just key off the run and just beat the dog shit out of that. That's kind of how I view the Steelers going into this. But because a big problem with Atlanta is they're kind of like this weird, they don't have two dimensions to their offense. What's up, Kevin? It's like the Falcons can run really, really well. And if they can't do that, they have no offense. We've seen what happens when you shut down the run, which isn't easy to do. But I do think the Steelers have the defense to do that with Watt back. But yeah, Atlanta can win. Like the Steelers' offense is really bad, and Atlanta's defense can take advantage of that. But I don't know. Atlanta's defense has also been yeah, and the Steelers, like, and another thing with the Steelers is they played really good last week. They've been putting up some really they played really good against the Bengals. They put up like 30 points, 33 points. Then they played really good against the Colts. So their offense has been ticking up. And I think against a much less defense, the Colts defense compared to the Falcons defense, you can't really compare the two. The Falcons defense, everybody seems to have like their best game of the season against the Falcons. It's just like, what's up, Wade? It's just trying to keep up with their run game is really tough. When Atlanta's really feeling it, they give up a lot of points, but they also score a lot. So I don't know. I just like the Steelers more. I like their coaching a little bit better. I think their defense can shut down the run game and make them into a passing team, which won't let Atlanta win. And that's kind of why I'm feeling the Steelers in this. I don't know. There isn't too much to add because they're like the first 3 games kind of are like not that fun to talk about. And then they all get really fun. The first 3, we just kind of got to muscle through and pinch our nose and just don't really take deep breaths. And yeah, we can move on from that one. Only good thing about Falcons defense is they can, they can pick the ball off pretty well. Yeah, their secondary's all right. Ravens, Denver, yeah, that's not going to be a fun game. I'm not too familiar with the Falcons, so I got to go with the Steelers. Falcons aren't bad. Again, they play a really good run game, but, their defense isn't, anything. They're a work in progress. They can close games this year, so if they have a lead, they're not easy to make them blow it. Anyway, Broncos take on the Falcons. We have the 3-8. Yeah, 3-8 Broncos against the 7-4 Ravens. The Ravens are 9.5 point favorites with an over/under of 39.5. And I've never seen this before. 100% of experts have picked the Ravens to win. 0% of experts have picked the Broncos. I've never in my life seen a 100% like on any game before. Oh, I said Broncos versus Falcons. I must have misread it. Good, I'm good. Wade, how you doing, buddy? Ravens are winning. Let's go Ravens then. Yeah, I don't really have like. I'm sure the Broncos defense will hold the Ravens to like 20 points, and this isn't going to be a very good game of offense. It's probably going to be it's going to be like pulling teeth. Going to be an ugly game to watch. Too much confusion with Denver, but Ravens can play down to any bad team or average team, so the fact that Denver can pull this one out. Yeah, I would say the Ravens should be. I don't know why everyone's saying this game can't happen. It's like, I don't know. The Ravens, this is like a prime upset game for Denver somehow. Their defense can hold them back, and the Ravens are the kind of team that just blow leads. Like, their defense just falls the fuck apart. We've seen it time, and all 4 of their losses are like blown leads. It's just like it's not. It's been like bad blown leads. Games like you look at it and you go, oh, that's they're not winning a Super Bowl because of that. What's that, Wade? What's your question, buddy? So, Denver might be able to do something about it, but ultimately, I think the Ravens' defense is a little too good for Denver, who already like the Ravens. I mean, the blah 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 Broncos could get shut out in this game, and it wouldn't be surprising. And it might be what they need to get that coach of theirs fired and thrown to the wolves, and be like, yeah, I guess we made a mistake hiring Hackett. Guess we can send him to Green Bay or New England, whoever needs a coordinator. You like Denver for the upset? Oh, JJ. Blown lead to Buffalo, Giants, Dolphins, and close to Jags. Well, they blew the game versus the Jags. Yeah. Again, Broncos this year are just not it. It's just easy to just ignore them. I'm doing the Lions game tomorrow, Wade. Lions and Jags. Oh, now he switches over to Ravens win. All right. Ravens 30. I don't think the score will be that high. I'm guessing like 21-14 or 21-13 or like 19-13, whoever wins this game. It's going to be some crazy low score like that in this one. All right, that's probably all we need to pay mind to this game, right? Like we do like some of these games we don't have to spend a lot of time on because like some of the other games we can actually spend some time on, Anyway, let's move on. Packers take on the Bears. 4-8 Packers, or are they 9? Yeah, 4-8 Packers take on the 3-9 Bears. Packers are favored by 4.5 with an over/under of 44.5. And in terms of the experts, they've got 80% on the Packers and 20% on the Bears. Yeah, I have the Packers winning as well because I found out Aaron Rodgers is playing this week. And because of that, I've always said that the only reason that Bears would win this game is if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play. So I think he's playing. I think they've already said I think he was taken off the injury report. I don't even think the reason you haven't heard if he's playing is because it's not a question of if he's going to play. So yeah, like it's the Packers versus the Bears. It's Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears. What are they going to do? Hopefully, Bears, Texans, and Rams don't upset. Bears are unlikely. Texans are unlikely. Those are probably not going to happen. Oh, if Rodgers playing, give me the Bears. Give me them by a landslide every time Rodgers steps on the field against Chicago. Yeah, and I mean it's in Chicago too. Yeah, I haven't heard much. I think Justin's going to play because he practiced all week. It sounds like Fields is going to play, but I'm not 100% on that one. The Jaguars versus the Lions for the second time, Wade. The Jaguars versus the Lions for the second time. You can ask me again in a few minutes, Wade. It's fine. You can just messing with you, by the way. Anyway, I don't know. This game sucks. There's no real excitement to this game other than like, can the Bears maybe finally beat Aaron Rodgers? The answer is probably not. Oh, okay. I didn't know, Wade. I didn't know you missed it. My bad. Yeah, if you need a way to watch, I can hook you up tomorrow. Just come in here and I'll give you a website to watch on. You got Sonic Forces on sale for $11 for Nintendo Switch today. Nice. Sounds pretty sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the Packers and the Bears. This is a very historic game, technically. It's a very there's a lot riding on this game, technically, because I think whoever wins this game has the most wins in NFL history out of these two teams. Or it's like the Packers need to win this game, and I think they have the most wins in NFL. They're tied with somebody, and it very well could be the Bears, which I know is kind of surprising, but they've also, both these teams been in the bitch since it started. Yeah, I doubt it, Kevin. I'd prefer the Packers to win. I don't really like the Bears, to be honest. Bears fans and their way that they talk about Justin Fields is a little annoying. Can the Packers win with Justin in? Yeah, can the Bears win against Aaron Rodgers is the real question. I think the Packers have already beat Justin Fields a couple times. Now, it's like, well, there's a new question about how good is Fields and yada, yada, yada. Well, there's no real, I don't know. I don't really want to talk about that game too much. Jags and Lions are both on the verge of becoming successful teams really soon. Yep. There's a lot of interesting factors of how Lions and Jags can go. Both play similar on offense and defense. Yeah, kind of. Lions are way more competent on offense than the Jaguars. All right, so the way we can break all of this down with... All right, so we'll move on to the next game because that Bears game would be... who cares? Do I have gifted memberships? What do you mean by gifted memberships? Like, can I gift them out to people? I probably could if I wanted to pay for it. All right. Oh yeah, Jaguars, Lions. Both teams are 4-7. Nathan gave that nice little introduction to the game. Lions are favored by 1, so it's basically pick 'em with an over/under of 51.5. Yeah, I think YouTube's doing gifted memberships. I think I have the option. Probably it's turned on. Tennessee game. It looks really nice. Have a good night, Abe. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate you. I picked the Steelers to win. All right. Anyway, Lions are favored by 65% of the experts. It's kind of almost up and down on this line here, and 35% for the Jaguars. So the way I kind of look at this game and kind of break this one down is you have to look at it like head to head to head to head. Special teams is probably a wash, except I think the Lions played like a really good have a really good punting unit and a very good like trick special teams unit. So I kind of give that edge to the Lions just a little bit. Coaching, I'll give to the Jaguars because Peterson's a better coach than Campbell at this point. So it's kind of like a 1-to-1. Offense, you give to the Lions. They have a better line. They have a better run game. They have a better quarterback situation. They have better receivers. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's going to be weird to see the Lions versus the Vikings and TJ Hawkinson. He's going to probably have a huge game. Defense, you probably have to go with the Jaguars just by a little bit because they're a defensive football team through and through for still pretty much. So, but that kind of puts it at 2-2. And then yeah, you have the matchup between Trayvon Walker and Hutch. So basically, the way you have to look at this is, you got the Lions got the home advantage. Jaguars' offensive line is pretty bad, and the Lions probably can get after that and cause some problems like they did to a team like Atlanta. Yeah, that's probably what'll happen, Jacob. What's up, Jam? Oh, you want the Jags? I gotta call it. I'm exhausted. Have a good night, Wade. Yep, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Did Michigan finally win? But yeah, so this game, I'm thinking it's going to come down to how Detroit's defensive line plays in this game, right? With guys like Houston, McNeil, Hutch. You got all three of those guys. You got Aquara, I think, the healthy one anyway. So those guys are going to have a pretty big game and decide how this game goes. You can't really let Lawrence get comfortable. You can't let ETN do any damage. So yeah, I don't know. Pretty sure Okuda's back and going to be playing, so that'll be big for their secondary. Now, see, because we know what the Lions' defense can actually kind of do. They were able to play against the Bills in a rather impressive light. So, I don't know. But, again, this game's just one of them games where you're like, wow, I wish I could watch this 2 years in the future. I wish this matchup was 2 years down the road when the Lions are in more of their final form and the Jaguars are in more of their final form with their current coaching regimes. Like, dang, we just missed out on this game being like a a shockingly good football game. And it still might be. I mean, these are two, again, like Nathan pointed out, two up-and-coming teams. I mean, I don't want to do all that. I'm going to be going to bed soon. Well, not really bed, but I only stream for about an hour or 2 hours just about 2 hours on Saturdays, because I do a lot of streaming on Sunday. Lions playoffs? I don't know. They got to go 4-1, the Lions, don't they? And while it's possible, it just seems highly unlikely. See, that's also the fun part about this game. The Jaguars had that wild ass comeback, and they kind of have that in them this year, that little like streaky comeback ability. And the Lions have that all over themselves. They're like a comeback team. So this game is very interesting. There's a lot of weird revenues and outcomes this game could end in. There's no certain outcome. No one can decide this game. The experts slightly favor the Lions. The betting lines have this game almost at pick'em. It's just like, we'll see. It doesn't. I think the Jaguars opened as favorites, but the line has been pushed towards Detroit. So this is one it's just how to tell. Kind of just look how many losses they have. If you see a team at 6 or 7 losses, assume they need to win this week. Like if you see the 4-7 Lions, assume they need to win every week. Just assume like, 7 losses, they got to win. For like the Packers, you see 8 losses, but just assume it's probably over. But like maybe if they won 5 straight, and maybe at 9-8, but I just say look at the losses. Anywhere from 6 to 7 is like they need to win. But if you're meaning teams that could actually clinch their playoff tickets, well, I'm not really sure with 17. It's all over the place. Could be 9, could be 10. It's kind of hard to tell with the 17. And for the AFC, you'll probably need like 6 or 7 loses only. So anywhere from 10 to 11 wins. And in the NFC, you might even get in sub 500. It just kind of depends. The NFC isn't very good right now. Wild card's a little too weird. There's a lot of spots. There's 7 seeds now, so there's so much new and like other new variables for the playoffs this year. It's kind of like hard to determine like what the records need to be. I'm guessing if you get up over 8 losses, you might not make the 7 losses. You probably won't make it. And then it just comes down to like, hopefully you beat somebody head to head, or you got a good division record or some shit. Yeah, I mean, the Lions, most of their wins have come lately, too. The Jaguars have scattered them out across their season. So that's another thing I think you should keep in mind is the Lions are playing incredibly good football right now. Jaguars are just piecing together wins across the season. That's not a team that has any like identity figured out. That's not a team that's like clicking on any real cylinders. That's just kind of a team that's piecing together wins across the season, which is kind of what the Lions were last year. But I think the Lions are like across their last 5 games, they're like 4-1. They're like, that's a team to me that's like streaking. They're figuring things out. They kind of have figured a couple of things out. Like I'm like, I won't swear to that, but like, wasn't their last loss to fucking Buffalo? And it was like before that they won like 3 straight. So I don't know. So 3-1 over their last few games. So I don't know. I kind of like that a little bit more than, need to have a wild comeback win to get to win number 4. Where I don't, I would use Buffalo, but I'd be like, the Jaguars could beat Buffalo. No, they're up there though. I think they've fallen a little bit, but they're like a top 5 scoring offense, I believe. Which is why I said that there's no real comparison. Plus, like, Jameson Williams might play. Anyway, we spent a long time on this game. The most exciting thing, again, to watch is see how Trayvon Walker performs, see how Hudge performs, and always, keep your eye on Jameson Williams. He might be making his big Lions debut in an offense that really doesn't need much help. Do you know how scary that actually is, to add a guy who runs a sub 4.3 40 into an offense that can already put up 30 points a game without much problem? It's like, yeah, but it helps out their already good receiving core. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that it's kind of not fair. Kudos to the Lions for taking a risk on Jameson on that. That's going to wind up paying really good with Amon-Ra St. Brown. That is a disgusting set of receivers right there. But anyway, let's move on to the next game here. There's more than just the Lions and the Jaguars, right? Hey, at least you don't have to hear about the Patriots tonight. There's no Patriots tomorrow. It's a bit of a bummer. But, the best team of football already played last Thursday. And then, of course, Buffalo got an upset. Gotta let the little fellas win every so often. Anyway, it's the Browns taking on the Texans. The storyline is ridiculously crazy for a football game that we played between Houston and Cleveland. All the false information and adversity Watson has faced, he's going to pound Houston. Yeah, there's a lot of insanity going on with this football game, as Nathan has pointed out. Watson is heading to his old team to take on the Texans, who he demanded to trade from, and a whole bunch of crazy shit happened in between that. It went from, hey, I'd like to be traded, to, here we are in week 13. Deshaun Watson's going to make his Cleveland Browns debut after being suspended for the first 12 weeks of the regular season and missing a whole year. You'd be like, what the fuck happened? If you just tuned back into football and you had somehow ignored all of the storyline, all of the drama and pomp and circumstance heading into this game, and just kind of were like, all right, let's see what's going on. Why is this? Why? They got the quarter. You'd be confused. You'd be like, what happened? Yeah, he's probably going to beat the dog shit right out of the Texans. Texans are, again, I got the Browns winning because the Texans are kind of like a shit team. And I mean, we can go look at the Lions. This will probably be the only game they try to win, and they lose twice as bad as when they're trying not to win, because they're clearly tanking. Browns are favored by 7.5 with an over-under of 46.5. Where's the Brown? 8% of experts have the Texans winning, and 92% of them have the Browns winning. So I would imagine most people are going to be on the Browns pretty heavily in this one. Yeah, I don't really see what's a funny part of this game is that Tony Busby plans on having he bought a booth or a suite. And he's going to be with the women that 10 to 11 or something of Deshaun's accusers are going to be watching the game from a booth. And it's that seems like a weird thing to do, but okay. Yeah, the Texans can't stop the run, so even if the Browns can't throw the ball, they'll just run all over. With Chubb and Hunt. Yeah, Busby, the guy, yeah. Cal McNair's booty. Well, they might not be friends now that McNair sued him. But that might have just been for appearances. I don't know. It's pretty exciting. It's going to be fun to watch Deshaun Watson back and playing football. It's going to be a little weird to see that he's back in the NFL playing ball. See what I mean by these first chunk of games aren't that good, and all the good ones come up pretty quick. 35-10 Watson, 33 passing attempts, 300 yards, 3 TDs. If he comes back and does that, people are going to quickly forget about his accusations. Because at some point, it's how good does he have to play to where everybody just forgets about it? Does he got to come out and be like Kobe Bryant when he came back from his accusations? Or his accusation? Is he going to have to drop the equivalent of an 81-point game against the Texans here? And everybody just goes, you know what? Whatever. Like, what's the actual thing that Watson has to do on the field that is so unbelievable? Does he got to win out, put the Browns in the playoffs, and win a Super Bowl? If he does some shit like that, what do we even have to say? Like, how do we respond to something like that? Is that just like, all right, guess he's innocent, ball don't lie? Is that the kind of shit he'd have to do to win everybody back? Because I'm wondering, because Kobe had to go out there and start dropping like 60 and 80-point games every so often to win everybody back, and he pulled that shit off, screaming out Kobe and shit when he'd shoot the ball. I don't think he actually ever screamed Kobe, but that's really funny if he did. Like he's a Pokemon. Like every time Tom Brady throws the ball, he yells, Brady. In my head, that's what they do. All right, that's my analysis for the Browns and the Texans. I don't really think there's much really to, because again, one of the things is, even if Deshaun Watson doesn't play his best game and kind of looks a little rusty, the Browns are going to be able to like run the football rather effectively against a Texans defense that is pretty much just non-existent. So I don't really imagine. I mean, the Texans might actually be able to move the ball against the Browns, but probably the Browns do like a third of what they did against the Bucs. Then yeah, this is game over for the Texans. They don't stand a chance. All right, let's go to the bottom part of the schedule where all the good games are hidden. All right, first really good game of the week will be the Jets taking on the Vikings. The 7-4 Jets head to Minnesota to take on the 9-2 Vikings and the referees. The Vikings are favored by 3, and the Vikings / refs are it's an over/under of 44.5. The Vikings are favored by 81% by the experts and 19% by the Jets. I have the Vikings winning because the Jets are a very aggressive young football team, and with the way that the refs are super sensitive to matters in Minnesota this year, not just with the Patriots, with like everybody they've played, per a lot of people, I think the Jets are going to beat themselves in this game. Plus, I don't give a shit. Mike White sucks. that whole thing ends in Minnesota. I hope they just stop that. God damn, I hope they stop that. That's annoying. I hate the Mike. Like, can we remember that Mike White played 2 very bad football games and 2 okay ones? And everyone's like, he's the GOAT though. No, he's not. He's not. Yeah, but he beat the Bear defense. Whoa. Jets defense has been solid on all cylinders, but there's more star power for the Vikings. Yeah, there's a few things why I think the Jets are going to struggle a little bit with Minnesota. While I think the Jets are a good team, they're much improved. I think one thing that's going to happen, they're a very young defense, right? And much like the Patriots, that young, aggressive defense might actually backfire, right? The Patriots have a lot of very young secondary players, kind of like the Jets do. And one of the things that the Vikings took advantage of with Kirk Cousins and the aggressive Patriots pass rush and the very good, but young secondary of the Patriots, they just literally just outcoach, like they just kind of like the players out-experienced them and they just kind of outcoached. Like it was the players just were like not ready for what the hell was going on out there. And the Jets secondary is much like the Patriots, very talented, but very young. And I think that young inexperience going up against a quarterback like Cousins with the receiving core that he's got and all the experience he's got in that receiving core with the fucking head coach that they have, that's a nightmare. They might not have Darisaw. That didn't matter against the Patriots even a little bit. O'Connell had such a fucking good game plan for like coaching around their offensive line woes. It was like it hurt them against Dallas because they lost the lineman in the game. But like now that they didn't have them heading into the game against the Patriots, they didn't miss a beat without having their best lineman in there. And that's rather impressive against a team like the Patriots, who's like they're like they lead the league in sacks by quite a bit. It's like one of them things where it's like, whoa, what? How the hell did they not get to Kirk Cousins the way they've been getting to everybody else? Oh, they did something to switch their offense up to like kind of game plan around their offensive line woes. And I don't know if the Jets, as young as they are ready for what the hell fucking Vikings are on offense. KC Bengals, yeah, I don't know why it wasn't Sunday Night Football. Kind of weird. I'm leaning towards Minnesota, but would I be surprised if the Jets get lucky to win another game against the Vikes? I would, because the Vikings are the NFL's lucky team this year. There's just like a number of things going right for the Vikings this year. Number one, the refs are, again, and this isn't a complaint, this is just something that you could notice. The refs are kind of like on the side of the Vikings. They're getting lucky in games this year. They're like just everything's going right for Minnesota this year. And with the Jets, we don't know what their offense is week to week. They played a good game last week. Are we 100% sure that they're going to be able to compete against the Vikings? It's a lot easier to play the Bears than it is the Vikings. I don't know. It feels like it, Ben. I think this is a game that also exposes that the Jets need to find a quarterback. Probably package up all their picks possible and move up in the draft with the Bears. What's up, Donnie? Because they're in trouble if they don't get themselves a quarterback. They're going to waste this whole goddamn football team on fucking dipshits like Mike White and Zach Wilson. And you know, it's crazy that if they had Justin Fields, just imagine what the fucking Jets would be like right now with Justin Fields. Oh my God. We can just sign one of their O-linemen, Fant, in the offseason. Dude, they'd be a frightening football team. By the way, they're only going to have $18 million in the offseason, or $30 million, something like. It's not a lot. The Jets have like no money. And they have to re-sign their best tackle in George Fant. And Jets fans are like, it's not that big of a deal. Really, you guys just finally got good linemen. Fant's going to be wanting money. And they're like, it's not a big deal to lose George Fant. All right. That's a wild take. They don't think it's a big deal to lose McGovern either. They're like, we can just get a new center. It's like, all right, New York, you guys actually have a decent offensive line. What the fuck are you talking about letting those guys leave? Nah, we don't need them now. All right. Yeah, okay. Technically, BYU isn't like a small school, but like I get what you mean. I don't think it's a good idea to draft Mormon quarterbacks generally, because they're going to have a real hard time connecting with guys in the locker room. The Jets don't have any money to spend in free agency. They're going to have to make some wild moves. No, maybe he'll be better than Zach. He better have intangibles, though. Again, you could have all the physical talent in the world, but if you lack intangibles, you won't make it in the NFL. You get replaced by guys like fucking Mike White and Joe Flacco. Intangibles, far more important than anything else. Trust me. Zach Wilson probably has a better throwing arm than Tom Brady does. What does that mean, ultimately? Ryan Leaf's a way better quarterback, like talent, than Tom Brady could have ever dreamed of being. Just remember that. Just very much keep that in mind when you think about, like, he's a really good athlete, dude. He's going to be a great quarterback. What? Okay, sure. Because Jamarcus Russell, every physical talent you'd want in a quarterback. Throw it 90 yards, fucking rocket of it, like pinpoint at, like everything you want. Can run. He's 6'6". He's a monster. What happened? I don't know. Like I said, intangibles are far. What I've learned is the intangibles are the stuff that like is like. It's not even just physical or mental toughness. It's like ability to lead like there's so much that goes into this shit. Like Eli Manning may have been like a hilariously untalented quarterback physically, but like in terms of intangibles, he had everything you wanted. That was his football team. The team rallied around him. They played better because of him. It was like they wanted to win for him. It was this weird. He was incredibly clutch. Didn't let anything bother him. Didn't like brood on his mistakes. Like there's certain things that guys do that are fairly evident. Like you could just kind of look at it and go, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be good." Like you don't question the leadership at all. Like it's just like that works. Like Mike White has all the intangibles in the world, but you know what the problem is? Mike White is a very limited, very limited talent. Mike White with Zach Wilson's ability is a monster. That's kind of basically Joe Burrow. That's like Joe Burrow's got everything you want, right? The super talent, the super level of intangible. Mahomes has all that horse shit that you want. Tua's got all the intangibles. He looks like his arm's improved. Max got a lot of good intangibles, but you know the physical talent's kind of limited. Trevor Lawrence, we'll see. I thought he didn't have it, but it kind of looks like he's developing as a well. He is a leader. You can tell that much, but whatever. You learned that in college football from Trevor. Only reason he had like that last year of college football, I think, was because of him. Anyway, yeah, that's a bad look for the Jets. They got to get rid of Zach Wilson. That's over with. There is going to be no rising from the Phoenix ashes like for Zach Wilson, I don't think. That whole scene appears to have run its course. But yeah, the Jets probably just need to find themselves a quarterback. Well, Tua never lost the team. Fucking Wilson lost the team. I don't think you can compare the two. Wilson no longer has that team. Like 0 people on that team believe in Zach Wilson as the starter or want him to be the starter. The only people who didn't like Tua was like Brian Flores apparently. So that's a. What do you mean like Tua? That's. How are you comparing the two situations? Yeah, Zach Wilson can throw the ball like 70 yards. Like again, I don't even know how you're comparing the two. They're like they're farly like they're so different of quarterbacks. Zach Wilson can throw. Tua can't. Not like Zach. Tua's more accurate, but Zach has a stronger just flunk. Yeah, I don't know why you're comparing Tua and Wilson. They're completely like polar opposite quarterbacks. I almost couldn't compare them on any kind of like feasible level. Tua's accurate, Wilson isn't. Wilson can scramble still, Tua shouldn't. I don't know. I guess they can both kind of run. I guess that makes them kind of similar. I guess. They both kind of grew up on the west side of the northern hemisphere, on the American hemisphere. Kind of makes them similar. Yeah, most people are kind of retarded though. Anyway, yeah, but Yeah, Cheeto, it's not the same thing, dude. I don't. I've never seen this comparison made. You could clearly see that Tua had one problem with with arm power, and you could be like, well, maybe they get a good coach to kind of just utilize the arm accuracy. With Zach Wilson, there's you almost can't find anything positive to pull out of that because he has zero intangibles. With Tua, you want him out there because he actually gives your shot a team at winning. Like he's like a good leader on the field. These dudes don't care if Zach Wilson was getting fucking lit up like a fucking tree, dude. They would literally. I would watch plays where Zach Wilson would get hit so goddamn hard near the out of bounds line, and his team would just kind of go and just shrug it off and walk back over to the huddle. Like all the guys who hit him were helping him up off the field and shit. So I really don't understand how you're comparing the two. The only reason Tua was ever in any danger of being benched in Miami was because of Brian Flores. The Jets are done with Zach Wilson. We'll get to that game. It's down the list. So, who's both losing? What do you mean? The Vikings and Jets are both losing? How is that possible? Are they tying? No, you can't both lose. Oh, do you mean the Vikings or the Jets and Dolphins? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Okay, then people are kind of retarded. They don't. Who cares? Why does that matter? People on Twitter say Mahomes shouldn't play. What is okay? I can find any statement. Why would Wilson go to prison? Why would Tua and Wilson go to jail? What did they do? I don't get it. What's the joke? Why is Vic back in prison? What happened? Did something happen? Why would all three of those guys be in prison? I don't get it. What's up, Crom? Trying to figure out the joke. Why would Zach Wilson go to prison? Or Tua? I guess I get the Vic reference, but okay, Crom. Cool. Sorry, Ken. I just don't understand why. I feel like Zach Wilson's never committed a crime, even as far as like jaywalking. So I doubt he'd ever even be like, I doubt he's had like interaction with the cops in his life that wasn't overtly positive for like some kind of charity work. Same with Tua. I sincerely doubt he's done anything to ever be in trouble. And I bet you since Vic got out of prison, he hasn't done anything to get in trouble. Like I don't get it. You just think you just don't like them, so they should be in prison? Was that the joke? All right, I guess don't answer. That works too. All right. Anyway, moving on then. Let's start talking about the Commanders and the Giants. You have the 7-5 Commanders taking on the 7-4 Giants. Oh, so I guess they're gonna go to prison because of that. All right. I don't really know what you're talking about, but all right, man. That's all right. 7-5 Commanders take on the 7-4 Giants. Commanders are 1.5 point favorites with an over under of 40.5. This game's 50-50, so it's kind of like half and half. Basically, the way I'm feeling about this game or looking at this game is I don't think the Giants have the health to beat the Commanders right now, especially with the way that their defense has been playing, which seems to be kind of revving up each game. We could see some Chase Young action in this game against an already weak Giants offensive line, an already kind of beat down and battered offense that the Giants have, already limited. Going to be very dependent on its run game against a team that shuts the run down rather well. Yeah, you don't understand what anything I've been saying means, Can. What does that have to do with if the Commanders can beat the Giants? Dude, you don't Can, no offense, but you kind of sound stupid right now. The last three things you said have been pretty goddamn stupid. And it's just like actually like baffling. I kind of thought you understood football a little. The fuck are you talking about? Why would his ability to lead his team be like a good team leader mean anything? I get like that shouldn't really come into consideration. That's more like a interpersonal team situation more than like well, they win because their guy's he's a good guy. Like, nah, that's okay. Okay. That doesn't really add anything. Heineke sucks. He's a bad quarterback, just like all the quarterbacks on the Commanders roster. They're another team, much like the Jets, that need to get a real quarterback at some point, or they'll continuously suffer of being an extremely average football team. But the problem for the Commanders is they have this weird curse at the quarterback position where everything that could possibly go wrong for them at quarterback usually does go wrong for them at quarterback. Wild injuries, just poor attitudes, the situation erodes. You name it, it's just like whatever weird bad situation happens for the Commanders. But yeah, I don't know. They're winning games right now. Their defense is really good. They're going up against a team that has really a practice squad offense out there. So I like the Commanders to win the game. No, I don't want a new computer for Christmas. I already replaced it. The fuck? What a weird question. Please don't like dig into my life like that. Thank you. I just quit asking questions about my personal life. Thanks. I don't know you like that. No offense. Yeah, it's really weird. No offense. Man, you guys get kind of weird sometimes. Make me fucking wildly uncomfortable. Commanders, Giants. Now nobody's saying anything. They're just like, uh-oh. Just say things that are actually about the games. Going to fuck up the commies. They don't want no smoke with the New York football Giants. And tomorrow we will put them in a... Hopefully you guys win. Dude, shut up. You fucking spam my goddamn chat. Commander 16-15, game-winning field goal. I know that one guy. See, also, though, if you're a Giants fan, you should be happy that I'm picking the Commanders to win because usually that results in the opposite being true. So, I don't know. This is a pretty exciting game because, again, there's a lot of playoff implications on the line here. Wild card situations, wild card seeding, because, of course, the NFC East completely controls how the playoff situation looks in the NFC right now, with the Cowboys, Giants, and Commanders all being playoff teams down the road. So, yeah, it's in New York, so that kind of gives the Giants a little bit of an edge. But how much of one? Yeah. You're fine, Kev, dude. Oh my God. You're fine, dude. Nothing more annoying than that shit. Probably should just let it go. It's better than apologizing for it, man, because now I'm just fucking, it's just so awkward. Ugh. Okay. That's way too high of a score, but all right. Anyway, I don't really think there's going to be much offense in this Commanders Giants game. It's going to be something like 17-10 or 14-10 as a final. Is what it feels like. So, I'm going to stick with the Commanders on that one. Haven't really gotten any crazy information that would make me go, yeah, I should probably switch my pick this week on that. Ooh. All right, I guess we'll move on. No one really has anything else to say about that one. Titans play the Eagles. 7-4 Titans take on the 10-1 Eagles. This game will be in Philadelphia. It'll be the Eagles will be favored by 4.5 with an over/under of 44.5. The Eagles are picked by 81% of the experts, and only 19% of them pick the Titans. I don't know why everyone's what's with the anti-Eagles? Am I missing something? Is somebody injured for the Titans? Or is this just like typical Titans, the way the media views the Titans for some reason? 27-14 Vikings. Nice. It's a wrong game, but all right. Titans win. Henry puts up 1,000 yards in this game. It'll be like a drive, but Titans don't convert. 4th down. Yeah, I'm just a little confused on why the Titans seem, by like all the expert standards and all the lines, it seems like they were giving the Eagles this in a bag almost. A 5-point line's a pretty expansive one. Yeah, but one of the things the Eagles kind of do struggle with defensively is stopping the run. Hey, dude. Hey, Kev, we go in games in order here, dude. Just so you're aware. Thanks. Yeah, because now I'm thinking about the Colts and the fucking Cowboys game. That's why I really can't stand when people do that. Dude's like, I don't know what game. Vikings, Colts over Dallas. Do you not listen, Kev? Like, we're talking about like the Titans and the fucking Eagles, and you're spouting out shit about some other fucking game. Being like, I like to be distracting and stupid. Either fucking shut up till we get to the game you want to talk about, or like just like leave. I like don't or contribute to the actual game being talked about. Or when I'm done, we can go back and like talk about games you might have missed. But like, it's really fucking distracting when you just start throwing random team names out there, and I'm trying to like hyper focus on this Titans Eagles game. That's actually like a really good game that I'd like to talk about. But you fucking interrupted me, and now I'm distracted from where I was at. So thanks a lot, Kev. I appreciate it, you fucking dipshit. God damn. Anyway, Titans and Eagles. I had no idea where I got interrupted at. Basically, the way I think this game is going to fall apart for the Eagles, if it does go the Titans' way, is the Titans seem to struggle with the run. They don't seem to, or the Eagles seem to struggle with the run. It doesn't seem to be something they stop with. Even with all the additions they made, I still think the who the hell did they play last week? fuck they play last week? Why can't I remember that? I know a team ran pretty well on them, and they like nearly lost the game, but it was a pretty close one. Bengals? No, they didn't play the Bengals last week, did they? The Eagles? Yeah, Packers. That's right. Yeah, the Packers. They ran kind of through it pretty effective. I don't know. Their defense isn't that great right now. They don't have the I don't know. The Packers seem to do things pretty well. So again, I like Derrick Henry's shots of running all over them this game. I like the Titans coaching a little bit better. Plus, like when the Titans are not favored, and yeah, so do the Titans. They're kind of known for running a Cheeto. Unless you don't think the Titans run the ball well, which is a pretty crazy take. Do you not think the Titans run the ball well, Cheeto? Because like I would disagree really aggressively. Like, yeah, they can't really run. The Packers run better. It's like I don't think so. Oh, they can't? I didn't know that the Titans couldn't run the ball. That's a new development. Well, I know you probably only get your football information from ESPN, but the Titans are like a really good running team. Like 99% of their football team goes when Derrick Henry goes. So. And the Eagles, unlike the Bengals, don't have an ability to stop the run. And they have this guy named Derrick Henry in Tennessee. Like, I don't know if you know that, Cheeto, but like other teams other than the Cowboys can run the football. I know it's shocking to you, as like I don't know how you didn't know the Titans could run the ball. It's pretty crazy. Didn't know that. All right, that's a pretty good take. I literally said, do you not think the Titans can run the ball? And you went, yeah, I don't think that. That's what you agreed to. Those were the literal things you agreed to that I asked you. I said, do you not think the Titans can run the ball? Oh, you must have misheard what I asked. I might have said it weird. I might have asked the question in a way that wasn't very clear. So that might be on me. But yeah, because then I might have just said it weird. Because like that, I was going to say, man, it's a wild take to say that the Titans can't run. I was confused. I was flabbergasted for a minute. I was like, what the fuck? Really? Do you really not think they can run the football? It's like, man, their whole offense is like the run. If they can't run, they're done. They're like the Falcons, but like way worse somehow. At least Mariota can sometimes throw it. Fucking Tannehill's so dependent on play action. I don't know. Like the only way Ryan Tannehill has been able to succeed in the NFL is like through Derrick Henry's success. Without that, he's been a bad quarterback in this league. But hey, they got Derrick Henry. They can run. They're going up against a team that can't run it. I think the Titans could pull off the upset. Again, you have a number of things working for the Titans. They're weirdly good against good teams on the road. They play way up to competition. They love being the underdog. They love playing in games where nobody thinks that they can win. This is a typical game they win. It's like Mike Vrabel's Titans win these games more often than they lose them. Plus, I feel like the Eagles are due for a loss. They've been kind of like shit scampering their way through a few games, and I don't think that this is the kind of game you want to get caught in. Plus, I do believe the Eagles' next game is against the Cowboys. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. It's either the Eagles or it's either the Cowboys or the Giants that are next or for the Eagles. And I'm wondering if the Eagles get caught looking ahead. Not because they think that the Titans are a bad team or a team that they, just, going to beat the shit out of. But just because, like, there's a lot of division angst in the next further division games against the Cowboys and or Giants and possibly Commanders. So there's always that, like, extra layer of fun added on top of on this game. All right, I think we spent enough time on the boring-ass Titans and Eagles. Welcome back, Kev. Sorry to yell at you. We just finished with Titans and Eagles. It's just shit can get real distraction for me real quick when I'm trying to go through these. I don't script this shit out. It's all in my head. It's all running. As soon as I move on to a new team, I gotta like kind of stay focused, and I start getting thrown off. Anyway, Seahawks and Rams. If you have anything else to say about that other game, try and jot it out real fast. But anyway, Seahawks and Rams. We have a 6-5 versus a 3-8. Not a very exciting game. The Seahawks are favored by 7 with an over/under of 40.5. 95% of the experts have the Seahawks winning with only 5% on the Rams. Yeah, we don't know if we know Aaron Donald's not playing. We don't really know if Jalen Ramsey's going to play quite yet. He might be out. I don't really know. Stafford was just shut down for the rest of the season with the neck/back injury. I don't know. Is the Rams season over? And another major question that arises around the Rams is when the offseason hits, are they going to have to like trade a couple players to like get some picks? The Seahawks lose again. I'm done with them. Every week I pick them. Sorry about that, Ken. Yeah, it's tough. It's like, come on. And it's like, let me guess, every time you pick them to lose, they've won. Yeah, the Seahawks are like that with me this year as well. Very frustrating football team. Again, sorry to anyone I've yelled at. I'm kind of just in like a weird testy mood tonight, apparently. I apologize. Some nights I'm just, sometimes I'm just a little tense, a little fired up. Don't know why. I think it's because it's cold, and I'm still just trying to fucking adjust to the cold. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel tense, too. It happens. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what the Rams are about to do. Bad offensive line. You're a Texans fan. I'm dealing with the worst of it. Well, hey, at least you guys might have a team in a couple of years, right? You got some good picks. But yeah, with the I also would like if the Rams were to lose, because the more the Rams lose, the more they go up in the draft order. Well, go down in the draft order and help the Lions out. So good to see the Rams losing. But the real question is, because I kind of think everyone here is on the same page with the Seahawks winning. With the Rams is, what do they do? Do they trade Ramsey? Do they trade Donald to secure more picks? What's the move? Does Matthew Stafford wind up retiring, which seems kind of likely? No, I don't know. Because again, Stafford's dealing with like numbness in the legs. I was reading. What else did that thing say? Who posted that? I don't remember. It might have been Distracted or Cheeto. I think that's the same person. How's the draft work? Worst team picks first, and then it's yep, and then it snakes. Well, no, it's just it doesn't snake. It's just 1 through 32, 1 through 32. And it's in April. It's a while to go. But yeah, kind of just a nice little natural kind of catch back up pace, and because the next two games are the last, well, the next three games are the last good ones, and then the next two are kind of bullshit. But I don't know. Does anybody think the Rams could win this game? Spinal cord issues and has numbness in his thighs, so his season is ending. Yep. And his career could be in jeopardy because I think he is 34, 33 years old. And it's like, well, I mean, he's only got, 4 years left after this year to play. It's not like the guy's got like 10 years left and it's like, damn, he's hanging it up early. Yeah, it'd be a little early by like 2, maybe 3 years. The injuries that he compounded in Detroit, I think, are starting to kind of rear their ugly head for his overall health. So he's probably going to have to hang it up. But I mean, hey, he's got a Super Bowl ring, has had a fun little career. Beloved in 2 different markets in Detroit and Los Angeles now. Wouldn't be too bad for if he had to hang it up. Because again, you don't want to see a guy like that get like seriously injured because like back injuries especially spinal cord injuries specifically. So let's hope Stafford gets better and then, maybe considers just putting the pause on it. I know he wants to try to play a long time, but it's just like, dude, the Lions ruined you. You should have got the fuck out of Detroit like about 4 years before you did. But yeah, I think that time in Detroit cut his career by a few years, I would have to argue. Very sad, very sad. All right. Let's go on to a game that actually has some meaning. I guess the Seahawks game does have meaning too, because if they win and the Rams and the 49ers lose to the Dolphins, which is very likely, very possible. This game feels like a 50-50 one too. But the Seahawks winning and the 49ers losing puts the Seahawks right back in play in the division. So these games all have quite a bit of meaning to them coming up, these next 4. Anyway, it'll be the 8-3 Dolphins taking on the 7-4 49ers. This game's in San Francisco, and the 49ers are 4.5-point favorites with an over-under of 45.5, so the lines moved more in favor of the 49ers. 61% of the experts have the 49ers and only 39% are on the Dolphins. All the top pickers, except for about 4 of them, seem to be on the 49ers. And that's, I think, because of the 49ers or the Miami having offensive line concerns is what the big problem is in this game. If I'm not mistaken anyway. Terran Armstead's like out for a minute. They don't really know how long he's about to be out for. And it's like, uh-oh. He was our best lineman, and we're going up against a team of monsters. Like, if you're the Miami Dolphins, this is like unironically, this might be the worst team to run up against right now. Your offensive line already has been kind of weak the last couple weeks, and like you sat Tua after he got sacked 3 times in a row last week. Again, you were already up by so many points it didn't matter. But I mean, they did do that. That's a real thing that happened. He got sacked like 3 times in a row after Armstead went out or something like that, and they went, "Oh boy, pull him," because they went, "Oh no, this isn't. We got to figure something out." So that's something to watch out for going into a game against the fucking 49ers. I believe they're getting Armstead back in their like Eric Armstead or something like that in for the 49ers, who very well could be related to the offensive lineman one, but they're getting like one of their maulers back up there in San Francisco. And the Dolphins defense has been rather bad this year. I think they're bottom 25 in every single category. For example, like they've almost lost games like where they score in the 30s and shit, where it's like, how the hell did they give up so many points to the goddamn what's up, Daniel? Welcome back to Chicago. I know the Patriots did, but it's like, weren't these guys like a really good defense like a year ago? What the hell happened? So that's something to keep your eye on. But also another thing to like keep your eye on is something that I think has the biggest outcome of like one of the bigger impacts on this game. They might, but I don't know. They're more of a system run. One of the things that has typically doomed a Rams team that has kind of almost always had more talent than the 49ers um, has been the fact that Kyle Shanahan, like, seems to physically just be able to understand his former coordinators at like a level that nobody else has been able to in the NFL, to the point where Sean McVay can run up a super high-powered Rams team to go take on Kyle Shanahan and Nate Mullen, or Nick Mullen, whatever the fuck that guy's name was, that like random quarterback, and he would like get beat up on by Kyle Shanahan. He'd lose like 14-0, 14-3 with like the high-powered Rams that he had. And it's like, what is going on? So now I'm wondering, now that we see Mike McDaniel, another Shanahan protege, one that's been with him since the Cleveland days for Shanahan. They've been together for a while, since the early aughts in Cleveland. So I wonder if McDaniel has the same issue that McVay has when facing off against a Kyle Shanahan-led football team. We don't know that yet. We don't know if the struggle to adapt a game plan that Kyle Shanahan can't immediately figure out because he knows the coach inside and out. We don't know if that's like a thing, like with McVay, like it is with McVay. So I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it did. Basically, I don't know if Shanahan's going to just like dominate McDaniel the way he does McVay. I think that's what's going to happen. It seems to be like the norm with Shanahan going up against his coordinators and people who coached with him. He seems to like weirdly dominate them, but especially two guys who were like his specific like understudy proteges, like that's kind of like a very direct thing. I'm pretty sure their offensive strategies are basic like ripoffs of the Shanahan offense. All right. So that's why I kind of like the 49ers in this game. Again, defensively, I think the 49ers kind of can overwhelm a already weaker Dolphins line. I think they have the defense to kind of just shut down this offensive attack of the 49ers, or of the Dolphins, who have not yet really played a defense of this caliber. The only other team that they've played with a defense of like this caliber is like the Patriots, and the Patriots held them to their worst offensive performance of the season. I'm pretty sure. Like, Tyreek Hill didn't get 100 yards. I think he had 0 touchdowns. Like, I think he had 4 catches. So like we've seen what happens when this offense it can be slowed down and stopped. It just takes a tremendous defense. And unfortunately for the Dolphins, they're going up against a tremendous defense. Can the Dolphins win this game? Oh yeah, most certainly. But if they get a 49ers defense that's like on crack like usual, good luck. They're going to want to get revenge on Mike for leaving. There's so much good. This is a good game. I'm stunned this game wasn't flexed. Or the Chiefs and Bengals, which is the next game we're going to talk about. I'm stunned one of these two games aren't Sunday Night Football. You know the reason that they're not Sunday Night Football? Because the Cowboys are sitting there. Isn't that horseshit? You're now seeing what happens in the NFL when the Cowboys are involved. You can never remove them. You can never, unless they're very bad, nothing will ever happen to them. They'll always, it's kind of like the Patriots. It's really hard to flex them out. Because of like, if they're somewhat relevant or doing somewhat well, it comes off like they have such a big fan base where it's really hard to justify taking them off prime time. Because it's like, well, I mean, the Cowboys are 8-3, so why would we? Patriots and Raiders might get flexed though. If the Raiders lose this game, we ain't staying in that game. Anyway, anyone got anything to say about the 49ers and Dolphins? I'm kind of shocked no one said a single word. Just let's go Niners. No one has anything to say about arguably the best game of the weekend. All right. Everyone had a lot to say about like the Rams and Seahawks. All right, people don't really care about the one of the best games of the weekend. All right, what about the Chiefs and Bengals? This is one of the Bengals' Achilles heels. Well, we've already moved on. Sorry about that, Cheeto. No one had anything to say. We've already. No, just kidding. I think so. Yeah, I think he's 6-0, 5-0. I don't know his exact record. Something like that when he plays. I think they're undefeated. Or well, hold on. However that's like when he plays the game, I think he is. Yeah. Chiefs game, Bengals is going to be game of the week. Going to be a good game. Hell yeah, it is, Jacob. I hope your bitch ass teams lose with the way you've been talking about my team. What's up, Anthony? How's it going? But Jets Vikings. Yeah, that should be a pretty solid game. But we'll move on to the Chiefs and the Bengals. Again, we're almost to the end of the thing where people can kind of just bring up games and we'll go back over them. Chiefs and Bengals. And again, if there's something specific you want to hear, just try scrolling through the stream. You'll find the the talk of it. Hopefully Dolphins stay close. Yeah, I hope the Dolphins lose. I'd like to see the Niners win. Anyway, we got the Chiefs 9-2 taking on the I can't see the records. All right, there we go. 9-2 Chiefs taking on the 7-4 Bengals. Let's look at the lines here. The Chiefs are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 52.5. The game is in Cincinnati. 76% of the experts are on the Chiefs and 24% on the Bengals. Yeah, so again, I could see why some people would argue that the Bengals are going to win. I could see why you'd say the Chiefs are finally going to right the wrong. The big question, Chiefs fans or anyone who follows, do we know if Jamar Chase is playing? I have no idea if he is or not. That makes such a substantial difference in this game. I can't quantify how important it is if he does or doesn't play. Because it's like the Bengals the Chiefs have nothing to cover him. And if they do cover him, somebody else is going to be wide the motherfucker open. To like a detriment to the Chiefs' defense in that game. Mixie and Chase. That's what I've been hearing too. I just didn't know if anybody heard any definitive statements or anything. I've been under the operating assumption that they're going to. But unfortunately, I think the Chiefs win this game somehow. Not really sure why. I fully think and want the Bengals to win. I think it'd be a lot funnier if the Bengals win just to see Mahomes fall to 0-3 to Joey B. What's up, Trey? But the sad reality, what feels in this game is the Chiefs are probably going to win, man. I don't know. I don't know if the Bengals got the secondary to deal with Mahomes right now this year. I don't really know if the Bengals have the defense to stop the Chiefs, who, again, don't seem as, like, what's the word? They're not as explosive on offense, but they almost feel better on offense without Tyreek Hill. Like, there's just this weird ability for them to just, they move the ball at will. They just kind of, nothing ever really stops them. It's just go, 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 full bore, full bore, full bore. So I don't know. It's quite interesting. By the way, if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. Chiefs are dynamic, are just dynamic this year. It would be a failure if the Chiefs didn't make the trip to the Super Bowl. I would say the same more with Buffalo. Nathan, to be fair, a lot of you guys were telling me that the Chiefs weren't even going to win their division this year. To now suddenly say that it would be a failure of a season in your eyes if they don't win the Super Bowl, well, that seems like a wild jump in expectations for the Kansas City Chiefs here. At one point in the offseason, you were telling me they might finish in 4th place this year. Now you're like, well, they're fucking losers if they don't win the Super Bowl. Well, it's like, Nathan, come on, man. What kind of jump in expectations? But I get what you mean, I think. But anyway, if you still haven't left a like, consider doing so. It'll help the stream out to anyone who's chilling. Yeah, and I have to constantly remind people to leave likes or else they just don't do it. It's quite baffling. It's like, geez, guys. Guess I'll take the hint. Jerks. Yeah, my problem for the Bengals is I don't know. I just don't trust the coaching versus Reed. They've been pretty solid though. I like the Bengals offense a little bit more this year. Bengals dealing with quite a number of injuries to very key players. Even if they do play, we're going to see how healthy they're going to be in this game. I don't know. Bengals just seem pretty beatable this year. Chiefs, I don't know, seem hard to stop. Winning games in the clutch, winning last minute, winning in like big fashion, small fashion. It's just been all over the place with them. Oh, he's officially going to go to the game? He's officially going to Colorado? Dang. Poor HBCUs. They lasted for a couple seasons anyway. So much for Dion trying to build up the swag. Itchy arm. Or itchy leg anyway. Chiefs or Bills. That's probably the AFC title game again with like a wild card, a couple other teams. Problem is the Dolphins defense probably is going to be their undoing anyway. All right, looks like we're done on the Bengals and Chiefs. People aren't too interested in talking about that anymore. All right, Chargers and Raiders coming up now. 6-5 Chargers take on the 4-7 Raiders. I don't know. This game is pretty interesting because you have the Chargers who can't stop the run against a Raiders team that could be like 6-5 or at least 7-5, maybe if or 7-4 if they were slightly, just not so stupid. Anyway, Raiders are favored by 2.5 with an over-under of 49.5, with 65% of the experts picking the Chargers and only 35% on the Raiders. This is another one of my upset picks this week. Simply because I don't know how the Chargers are going to respond to Josh Jacobs, who is healthy, or he's expected to play this week anyway. I don't know. Anybody think the Chargers are going to be finally able to stop a running team? Raiders are finally beating teams, figuring out how to win and not blow games at the end of it. So I'm kind of liking that recent run. But yeah, it's a coin flip game, and it seems like it shouldn't be with the way that the Raiders have played this year and the way that the Chargers have played, or the way that, Like, what's weird is we always knew this game was going to be close, but we didn't expect it to be like two teams that are just completely like imploding and just not having good seasons for what was expected of them to still be both like at a position where they could play a good game. Like, isn't that kind of perplexing? Like, not many people would have expected these two teams to be in these particular situations. And then both teams to not have had good seasons and still like, hey, there's a decent game that could happen out of this. I find that to be pretty crazy, because usually you'd be like, oh, this game's gonna fucking suck. Two teams that have massively underperformed their expectations going head to head. Oh boy, that sounds like, it's like, wait a minute, this might actually be pretty good. And it's like two teams heading in the opposite direction too, which is kind of cool of those situations. So you have the I don't know. I find it cool anyway. Chargers kind of free falling. Raiders maybe finding their footing a little bit. They could. That's the exciting part of this game is both these teams have like these weird, exciting kind of finishes that could happen. So, all right. What do we got next? Colts and Cowboys. We got the 4-7-1 Colts taking on the 8-3 Cowboys. The Cowboys are 10.5 point favorites with an over/under of 43.5. Yeah, maybe. 99% of the people have the Colts and the Cowboys. Only 1% are on the Colts, so that's not too shocking. Especially with the way that the Cowboys season and Colts seasons have gone. Anybody thinking the Colts are going to win this? That's the real question. It's like, does anybody actually out there believe that the Colts got an upset brewing? And if you do, I'd love to hear how. Like, even if you hate the Cowboys, I don't really see the upset. Because they're better, but the Cowboys very easily fall for underperforming. Yeah, they do. They do kind of underperform, but I think the 8-3 record indicates that they're playing pretty consistent, good football this year. At least to me, it says that anyway. The record seems to indicate that they're not really falling for their usual chances. Yeah, and like they don't have the offensive line to do that against the Cowboys. That's like the problem for them. They need a big game out of Jonathan Taylor from an offensive line that probably can't produce give him time to have a big game because of the fact that the Cowboys they have an aggressive front. They lost to the Packers and destroyed the Vikings. The Packers always struggle, or the Aaron Rodgers owns the Packers or the Cowboys. Yeah, nobody knows why that's a thing. Why that's Aaron I don't know. I don't know. Plus, Aaron knows Mike McCarthy. Packers know Mike McCarthy very well. Probably understand every single thing about his coaching style, his coaching schemes, philosophies, the ways he looks at the game, all those small things. Whereas McCarthy might have had Aaron, but everybody else is a question mark. A lot easier to account for one guy's way of thinking than it is for McCarthy to try to remember like maybe 20 guys that are still there in the way they think and run the. Yeah, but again, the Packers at times can have a good line, and the Eagles have one of the better lines in football. So you're dealing with a Colts team that has no offensive line and couldn't beat the Steelers. What's up, Amir? How's it going, man? Like you're dealing with a team that got overwhelmed by the Steelers' defensive front because just J.J. Watt was there. Or TJ Watt. That's all, Cheeto. Just again, it's not even anything against anybody else. The Colts offensive line is just it's just bad. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I was watching for a while, then my stream started, so I had to dip. Plus, I was like, I just never know what to do. If you can't tell in basketball streams, Amir, I have no idea what to talk about. I'm like, all right. I guess I'll just say a few things when I'm watching. I don't want to go off topic and start talking about random shit, so I'm just like, I like to keep it on topic. Well, that's the problem is I'll type something out. I'll be like, oh shit, okay, only down by 3, and then I'll look up and be like, damn, it's like 10 points difference all of a sudden. I was just typing out. Fuck. Like at one point it was like a 7-point game, 9-point game in the game Amir was covering. I looked back up at the end of the first and it was like a 12-point, 13-point game. I was like, what the fuck? It felt like it was dramatically over for the Magic at that point. I was like, I don't even know how this is possible. Just went quick. I was like, damn, dude. But yeah, I don't know. I got the Cowboys. I don't really see the Colts winning this game. It'd be quite the upset. They would need a monster game out of Jonathan Taylor. And I guess if dude, I don't know. There's no I just can't find like the advantage for the Colts in this game other than like they can maybe get a bunch of yards with Jonathan Taylor. Again, coaching advantage Cowboys, special teams Cowboys, defense Cowboys, offense Cowboys. Yeah. And they could probably get bossed up by that situation a little bit. But I don't think the Colts are one of them teams to worry about. Yeah. And see the thing, the Colts do have never mind. Their defense might have gave up. They got slashed to death by fucking Kenny Pickett. It's just like, oh yeah, I forgot they just got beat up on by the Steelers, so eesh. They made Kenny Pickett look like he's got a future in this league. All right, that's probably good for a game like that. All right, another great Monday Night Football matchup this weekend. I can't believe we're so blessed. It's the Saints and the Buccaneers. You know, last week we had one of the games of the years in the Steelers and the Colts. This year we are blessed with this week is the Saints and the Bucks. These Buccaneers are 3.5-point favorites with an over-under of 40.5. 92% of people have the Buccaneers. Only 8% have the Saints. Yeah, there's been a lot of bad primetime games this year. It's been pretty abysmal. It's been hard to watch. Hard to react to, hard to cover. Saints offense can't do anything all of a sudden. Yeah, their offensive line players on their line got hurt, and they have no one to throw the ball to. And Andy Dalton's only good for like 4 or 5 games a year. As much as I would like to pick against the Buccaneers so that I jinx them and they win, I think the Bucs defense might be too good for the Saints. I don't know what they're going to do to score points, move the football. I don't know. Not look completely inept, but it is one of those weird things where the Buccaneers like struggle really hard against the Saints. It's like a long-standing like the unless it's like a playoffs, and I think the Bucs beat them earlier this year, but it's like it took a lot out of the Buccaneers to win that game. So this game is probably going to be wildly close. Whatever the final is, it's going to be like a 2-3 point game where someone just ekes out a victory. Yeah, it's because the Buccaneers are like, no matter how bad the Saints or Bucks, no matter how the teams are going, like the Saints could be the worst team in football and the Bucks the best, and the Saints would be like, yeah, we'll beat you twice, and they will. It's just like, damn, dude. Imagine being the team because the Saints always beat the Bucks. So it's really hard to just be like, Bucks will win this game. I just heard something outside. I was like, what the hell? Loud ass sirens. But it's like, oh no, I'm getting swatted. It would suck. I start reaching for things like, get out of here. Thinking someone was fucking with me and not realizing, uh-oh, I shouldn't have did that. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I got the Bucks. This game kind of sucks, but I just really again, if the Saints were a slightly like better coached or like better put together team, or their offense wasn't led by like Andy Dalton and like no talent around him, it would be a lot easier to be like, oh yeah, the Saints will probably get an upset in this game. This is the kind of game that they usually win. If Bucks win, they would have swept the Saints. Yeah. If the Bucks can win this, this would be like one of the weirdest times because the Bucks would have actually swept the Saints. The most unlikely timeline we'd be living in. The one where the Bucks sweep Tampa Bay or New Orleans and are a bad football team still. It's like, damn, who would have thought that would be coming? Damn, we're up at 17 likes. I appreciate that, everybody. Very kind. Very cool, very kind. We've done all the games. If there's any games anybody wants to quickly go over, we can go back over them. But, I mean, we've been live for almost 2 hours already, so. Yeah, I'm excited about the Watson return, too. I'm like, I want to cover that game, but I, like, don't give a shit about the outcome of that game. It's, like, so inconsequential toward, like, any kind of playoff race or implications or... It's like a guaranteed win for the Browns, so it's like, well, I don't want to watch that. Yeah, I hope they torch him just because it'd be hilarious. And then everybody just has to like start having these uncomfortable talks about like, you think the Dolphins and Bengals and Dolphins can stay close? And yeah, I think so. I think both of those games are like 24-21 between the Dolphins and 49ers. Or no, with the Dolphins 49ers, I think it'd be like a 17-14 type win or like a 20-14 type win for the 49ers. And for the for the Chiefs and Bengals, yeah, it might be a touchdown. Think like 31-24, 31-27, 28. Those are probably like the scores of those games if they go the way I think they're going to go. And those both feel right, don't they? I don't see either team winning in either effort in a blowout. Between even if the Dolphins win or if the Bengals were to win, I don't see blowouts in either direction. More Mike White magic? I don't think so. I think Mike White's I think it's a fun story, and I think he's like a fun, like, you know, it's a fun story, but ultimately I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm betting he's gonna look more like whatever that Mike White we've seen against the Patriots and the Colts that one year. But you know, as a Patriots fan, I do feel kind of bad that we shit all over Mike White, the Mike White parade. Do you remember that? Hold on, I want to see something. Must be because of the winds or something. Yeah, that was hilarious. We ended the Mike White hype. That literally started, and then it was like, what a bunch of bullies. We were having fun, and the Patriots went, knock that shit off. What the fuck is this? Noisy out here. Yeah, Giants. I picked the Commanders to win, Amir, just so you guys, you know how the jinx has gone, right? Every time I pick against you guys seem to win, so you're welcome. It's not a bad start. Vikings kind of got a piss poor defense. Mac Jones lit their ass up. If only our defense would have showed up that game. Yeah, see? So, you're welcome. You know. I'd like you guys to win just because I enjoy... I want that thing where everybody has to like him and haw about if you guys are a real team or not. Right now, the hemming and the hawing is still going on as you're 2 wins away from basically being a goddamn playoff team. But if you guys miss the playoffs, boy, oh boy. All them people that are still going, are the Giants real or not? I still can't believe that's a thing. Like, we made that joke. Remember this in like week 4 when you guys were like 3-1, and we're like, dude, you guys could wind up being like one of the better teams in all of the NFC, all the way through the playoffs, and people be like, are the Giants for real? Like, you guys are like in the Super Bowl and shit. Yeah, but like we know like it's over, right? Like the real Giants show up this week and they lose big. Then you guys win the Super Bowl and it's like at the parade. People are like, all right, this is the week. This is the week the Giants lose the game. It's like, dog, it's the Super Bowl parade. The Giants are the champions. Yeah, okay. How'd they luck into that one? They beat the Bills. I don't understand. Why are you doing this? And then they start the season next year 0-1, and everyone's like, Every time the Giants lose, people just start spurting out about and just like point really aggressively about the Giants. What's up, Gabriel? Amir, how annoying was that when you guys lost to the Lions? How everybody reacted? I was like, I almost feel bad for Giants fans in this game. Like, like a lot of people have asked if the Giants are overrated, and I'm like, not really. Their season's been a complete success. If you didn't have the Giants winning 7 games, then they've wildly exceeded all of your expectations, and you can't say anything bad. You can kind of make jokes about like the collapse of the season. Sure, it's funny, but like, again, you have to remember, where did you personally like to the people making the jokes? Well, I had them about 4 wins, so they were better than what you thought they'd be. Yeah, so why are you laughing? Well, you know what I mean? Like, there are people that had the Giants as like a 2-3 win team, and now like the Giants are a near playoff team, and they're like, oh, look at the Giants failing. It's like, failing what? Failing over exceeding all of your expectations? They've already done that. They've already blown past them. I don't know. I don't like when people say shit like that, but it's like teams like the Raiders truly are hilarious. The Broncos. Like, you guys aren't like the Broncos. You weren't supposed to start 7-3 or 7-2, and then now you're just gonna, like, if you guys collapse, so what? We weren't even supposed to be this many wins. It's just like, yeah, we weren't supposed to be here. This is more correct. Yeah, it sucks that, we kind of overperformed, but at least we've seen what this team is capable of doing next year when everybody's healthy. Plus, you guys are kind of in a weird case where, everybody's hurt. It's like, yeah, every team deals with injuries. It's like, dog, they don't got anybody left in New York. I don't know who the fuck they got left up in that offense. Yeah, and you guys are you guys are like Titans. Like, you guys are. It's not even. I don't understand it. You guys are not like practice squad receivers and shit. I'm like, who in the fuck are they throwing the ball to? When you guys lost Wendell Robinson, I went, all right, what are we judging here? It's got so bad for you guys. You guys just decided, yeah, we're going back to the old grass field. Yeah, it's gotten that bad. Lions are probably going to switch to the artificial official turf that everybody's using. It's like whatever the hell the Raiders, because Raiders use like a natural grass mix, and everybody really likes that. So that's probably what everyone's going to switch off to. I think that there's a few the Lions need to switch too. Their field's pretty shit. Yeah, same with the Lions. Too many joint injuries and shit like that. A lot of high ankle sprains this year as well. And I have a feeling that all these high ankle sprains this year are the result of the turf and guys trying to overcompensate so they don't tear their ACLs. If it is, I don't care, but I don't think so. I don't think they would have made Tom Brady as successful as he is. Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers would have been Tom Brady's career. And I know that's good. You'll be like, well, he's popular. Yeah, because he's won. Like, you have to understand, he's also supported by an entire region of the NFL, of the United States with the New England region. But also, if it was rigged, they would have gave Brady's career to Peyton Manning. Like, Aaron Rodgers is like one of the most popular players in league history, and he has appeared in one Super Bowl. Brett Favre appeared in one Super Bowl. Dan Marino won 0 Super Bowls. Matt Stafford, one of the most talented young quarterbacks in like a generation, went to the fucking Lions and did nothing until the very end of his career because they sent him to the Rams. You know what I mean? Like, Can, there's too many things that happen that shouldn't have. Now, you can make the argument that, some random 6-round pick's a better story than the son of the one of the semi-legend of Archie Manning. Like, there's you can make the compelling argument the other way, but it's also like, I don't know, man. Peyton's way more sellable than Tom. I don't know. Plus, like, would you really have would you have Eli Manning be the one to ruin a perfect season? Yeah, no, I got a new Manning I get to hate on. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm ready for this. This poor kid doesn't even know what kind of intergenerational hating's coming his way. I've got all kinds of shit to talk on his whole family. There's probably fishy officiating going on, sure. I would say that's probably going on. Points of emphasis, sure. Can the league influence things? That's always debatable. I think that's always a possibility because, like, aggressive teams are kind of fucked in certain situations, and you know. I don't know. But if it is ever exposed as being rigged, a lot of people are going to sue the fuck out of a lot of situations. Because that would be some crazy ass fraud. Like with pro wrestling, you can't really gamble on it. Yeah, I'm getting tired or more and more tired. I've been live for 2 hours. Very easily. You can rig sports to some fascinating degree. Tell them to drop the ball. Throw a bad pass. Throw an easy to pitch hit. I mean, it's easy to rig sports. I don't know. You don't really got to try that hard. Miss a tackle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Call holding call. Just something. It's sports are really easy to rig. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It's about 12:30, and I got like a couple games to do. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing the Lions and the Jaguars at Lions, and of course, the Colts at the Cowboys. So, that'll be a pretty fun little evening for us, or a fun little day. Oh, should be good. Yeah, you too, Amir. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate it. Yep, see you tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for another fun preview stream, another fun little Week 13 preview. It's always a good time. Again, sorry to the few people I yelled at tonight. It is what it is sometimes. Nothing personal. Have a good night, Dre. Can you as well? But yeah, as always, it's a fun stream. Sometimes I get kind of weird and whatever. It's usually me, so don't ever take it personally. It's just me being a fucking idiot. So, all right. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your chit-chatting and hanging out tonight. I appreciate it. It's a fun time as always here on these preview streams. All right, that's 2 hours. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We have 6 hours of streaming plus tomorrow, so that'll always be fun. All right, have a good rest of your day, night, morning, whenever you listen to this. Go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots. Week 13 starts tomorrow. I don't know. All right, see you guys later.